You're watching WRKM Channel 22, number one in the region. Good evening. I'm Rafi Martinez, and this will end in darkness. There is construction going on nearby, so you may hear it from time to time. Couldn't avoid it, apparently. According to the station chiefs, it was necessary to have the courtyard repaved. It wasn't like I sprained my ankle in that very courtyard 6 months ago. What a time to wait. Now I can feel safe walking around the studios again. But that's not the only situation going on. There's a lot going on. Well, not really. I'm lying. There's a lot of stuff with me going on. You know, I get into these conversations sometimes, and I often am confused by other people. I was having a conversation with someone online about forced diversity. There was this idea that, you know, because of all the forced diversity now, even when someone is a non-diversity hire and actually is qualified for the job, you still have to ask yourself, is that a diversity hire? And it's weird to me because I always felt that if you feel diversity for the most part is forced, then it says less about the diversity. It says more about you and how you feel about diversity. And to me, this goes way back, like before any of our current time. Like even in 2007, you were noticing that commercials were being shot differently. Where before it would be a white doctor, now it's a black doctor talking to a white family as opposed to a white doctor talking to a black family. Or when ADT was doing home invasion commercials, they were starting to have white guys do the home invasions, even though there were a small percentage of the overall that actually do commit them. They were still doing just, to balance it out because media perception matters. But even then, people were a little concerned, like, ugh, now we're lying through our media. Now we're forcing diversity. So it's not a new argument, really. And to me, are there levels of cringe diversity? Sure. I mean, when the CIA had that whole commercial about, we have a diverse group of people here. We at the CIA have a group of diverse people, and they all just so happen to bomb brown people because that's American policy. But at least when the bombs drop, it's a diverse person at the button. Yes, there is cringe diversity, but I feel like anytime a level of diversity happens, it's always considered forced diversity. And to me, you're talking to a comic book reader. Every now and then there'd be a what if or an Elseworlds title in comics, and they would change things up. What if Batman was a woman? Or what was he from Mexico? Or what if anything? They would do it all the time. They would constantly do these issues because they were interesting concepts. They were someone's take on the material, right? And a take on the material, to me, when you don't care about canon like I don't, is totally fine. I don't take canon seriously because DC Comics has done nothing but ruin canon every few years with another crisis. So when you realize that these IP You don't own them. They don't belong to you. They're owned by corporations, and they will do whatever corporations want them to do at any given time. The fact that you care is kind of foolish about it. And also, you can decide not to read that comic, not to watch that movie, not to deal with it. I did it with Star Wars. I didn't like the sequel, so I stopped watching Star Wars. It's been rather liberating to do it, because now I have time for other franchises that make me happy. Which, to be fair, most have disappointed me, so I've kind of gone into a more indie rabbit hole again, where I was in my teenage years. But the thing is, like, you can choose not to read it if the forced diversity, quote unquote, bothers you. That's what I learned from reading comics. If I didn't want to read the Elseworld title, you know what's still there? The comics I like. My favorite Marvel run ever was from Civil War to Siege. My favorite run, even though the 90s X-Men meant a lot to me, but that run of comics was my favorite. Once they went back to the heroic age, I stopped reading because I got the stories I wanted. I felt fulfilled. I felt content. But because we've developed this level of ownership over IPs, and they never end, so they're constantly being produced and being reinterpreted for another generation, we feel like it's forced diversity when it's simply just someone else's take on the material. To me, where canon ends, like, for instance, on Batman. Once Bob Kane stops writing Batman, the pure Batman's over for me. Everything else is just fan fiction as far as I'm concerned. And that's not to be offensive to the guys who've given themselves to the DC canon, DC lore. To me, the lore still resides with the original lore creator. That's just my opinion. But when it comes to like things like with forced diversity, like you're upset about Black Little Mermaid, and I don't get it, because other Little Mermaids still exist. You can just go watch that. Don't watch this one. Wait till the one you want to watch comes back. It's weird to me. It's weird. And it always just feels to me that it's always just really incel nerds complaining about it all the time because you've dared touch their toys. And I don't understand that. It doesn't belong to you. You know, I'm a firm believer in two things can be true at once. One, diversity is cool because it gives a new take on old classic characters from someone else's eyes that we haven't seen before. And it might seem forced to you, but it's someone's take. And that's totally fine. But I am also of the belief that it'd be nice if our toys mattered. If our toys were just as respectable as the toys of legend. That'd be totally fine as well. You could have both. And you can pick and choose what is more interesting to you. So I don't know. And in a time where everyone says they want creativity, new people taking on old franchises is creativity. It's a new way of looking at things. Within that conversation, another person joined in. And this is another point I've been seeing recently that I don't think people understand is kind of eugenicsy. There's this idea that homogenized cultures, for the most part, have been better off. Look at Japan, look at China, look at certain white European countries. They've all been fine. Because of America and its diversity, it's kind of destroyed the country, apparently. But that was kind of what the founding fathers were fighting against. In their mind, there was no homogenous way of living. There was a diverse way of living, different ideas, different thoughts, different religions. Everyone was in the melting pot. It's why it's called the Great Experiment. The whole point of having it is, can this work? And can a group of people try to make it work? Like, we've been given the principles in which to do it with the Constitution and stuff like that. But it feels like now, on a level of right-wing people, they look at things from a very Anglo perspective, where American culture is Anglo in nature, and I don't believe that. I think if the whole sentence is all men are created equal, then that means that applies to all people, all thoughts. And in order to maintain America, like if your belief is we can only deal with the Anglo-Saxon version of America, then it historically has not done well for the other growing populations in the country. You have to bend that so it can then help out the other portions of the country, because we're not alone here. It's not an all white Christian nation. We got Muslims, you got black people, you got Latin people, you got Chinese, you got all these people. But somehow you want to take the great experiment, what was supposed to be the new way of living, the future, and then go back to a much more regressive idea. That's bizarre to me. And you hear like guys like Matt Walsh talk about white genocide and stuff like that. And I don't think many conservatives are starting to put two and two together, that there is a racist element, more so than ever, taking over their messaging and their ideology. And that on its own is troubling. But I also don't like the effects it has on people on my side of things. What happens all the time is, especially in amongst black and brown people in media or in any kind of competitive field, we are hyper aware of being seen as a diversity hire. And we almost put the shackles on ourselves to believe in a meritocracy that doesn't exist, just so we can earn the respect of those who already find us suspect. Now, once again, these are speaking in generalizations. The rule is, if it don't apply, let it fly. So, to me, when this person was talking about the idea of a homogenized culture, I went to his Instagram. And what I noticed was he was a Spanish dude, Mexican dude. And all his friends happened to be white and Anglo. So, of course, he kind of felt what he was feeling because that's what he grew up around. But did he not forget that his family technically were not Anglo natives? His family was natives to the land more than likely. He was definitely living, I think, Texas border towns. But the Anglo way of life was not native to him. That was something impressed upon his culture to give into. And I find often when people say I don't want to be judged, or when I don't want to be given things due to my skin color, I'm like, have you not caught the point where white people were giving white people stuff just for being white? And now we live in a modern era where being black and brown gets you shit, and now you don't want it? Now you're worried about respectability? Now you're worried about meritocracy, when the whole goal of all this is get money. America is a gangster's paradise. Everyone wants their cut of the crime. We said that last week. We're saying it again this time. It still applies. Why are people talking themselves out of the cut? I never understand. Listen, if someone comes to me going, hey, Ralph, listen, you're Puerto Rican, and that's primarily why we're hiring you for this directing job. Sweet. Cut the check. You're not going to hear me get mad about it. Cut the check. Am I wrong for wanting to get paid? Cash money? I am not. I am not wrong for wanting to get cash money. Because that's how it is. Why is it when it comes to our level of success, it has to be judged on a level of respect we get from the white gaze? They have to see us as this. They have to see that we fought hard and we did more work than anyone else to get it. And it's like, do you think they give a shit? Because more than likely, they're looking for diversity higher anyway. So Jordan Peele legitimately wrote the best original screenplay that Get Out won. It was the most original screenplay that had been written in some time. You know what people said? Still a diversity win. So even he did the work, got the box office, got the credibility from critics, still a diversity win. Okay. So why do we give a shit? Why do we give a shit? If you're going to be looked at that way anyway, shut the fuck up and take the check. Don't bitch about it. I'm a diversity hire? Sure, I'll take it. Cut the check. Why are we talking ourselves out of money? Why are we talking ourselves out of equity in situations? Why are we saying, oh, I just want them to see me for who I am? They're never gonna. So take the fucking check. How do you think this has been operating all this time? You think everyone's just been hunky-dory earning stuff? No. How many fucking Jackie Robinson stories do we gotta fucking hear before we just get to the point of, yo, cut the fucking check? Just cut the fucking check. I don't care if I'm the first whatever. Cut the check. Yeah, I'll be that. What's the marketing thing? Oh, he's the first Latino to do this. Fantastic. Cut the check. And I don't care who cuts the check. I don't care who, how, or from where. Cut the check. The CCP can go, hey, Ralph, listen. We really would like for you to start some anti-American propaganda. We're going to pay you a huge sum of money. Are you in? Cool. Cut the check. At this point, don't matter where the money comes from now. Everyone's fucking broke. Cut the check. Vladimir Putin comes, hey man, this Zelensky guy, he's got a lot of good joke writers on his squad. My speech could use some punching up. You in? Hell yeah. Cut the check. Venmo me. I'll be there. CIA pops up to me, hey, we need you to go down to South America, befriend some Latin American president, get close to him, destabilize the country. When do I pack my bags? What's my cover? What do I tell my mom and my girlfriend? Has the check cleared? Fantastic. Going to South America. Going down, destabilize the government. Cut the check. So that lets you know where I'm at. So if Warner Brothers comes out to me going, hey man, do you want to do Tito Puente, the movie? Yeah, cut the check. It'll be as Puerto Rican as fuck. Cut the check. Hey, do you want to do Latin James Bond? Yeah, cut the check. I'm into it. And I'll do all the nice interviews. Why does James Bond have to be white? I think if you don't like James Bond being Latin, you're racist. I'll do all the interviews that way. I don't give a fuck. I'm in. I'm done with respectability politics. I'm done with integrity. It's dumb. Cut the check. Simple as that. Scientology comes up. Yo, Ralph, listen. We don't have a podcast icon. We could use a podcast icon. I'm here. You can sponsor me anytime. I'll do hours of Xenu being awesome. Xenu, the galactic creator in which they believe. I'm down for it. Xenu fucking rules. Just make sure to cut the check. I'm checking my email right now and see if anyone sent the check in. No check yet. No, that's a bill. God damn it, that's a bill. The opposite of what I wanted, but it happens when you're trying to get the check. The Saudi royal family. Sure, they've killed a bunch of journalists, but you know what? That journalist wasn't me. And you know what? Maybe he was up to no good, so cut the check. Bam, I just ran cover for them. Zell me, homies. Don't care where the money comes from. Don't care who, how, or from where. Cut the check. America's not cutting my checks. They ain't hooking me up with cash. How am I loyal to America for? I'm a dissident, dog. I'm an intellectual mercenary for hire. I don't know about intellectual. I'm a podcast mercenary for hire. I don't care where the money comes from. I'll never get it. It's always a conversation amongst black and brown people. Like, what's the need to, like, I have to make sure they know I earned it. I don't give a fuck. Give it to me. Give it to me on a silver platter. I don't give a damn. No one else has been giving this shit for the past 200 and some fucking years in this country. And we gotta be the fucking ones to be respectable. We gotta be the ones to go, please, sir, Can you see my hard work? What are you, a fucking asshole? What are you, an idiot? Get this shit out of here. I didn't know if I wanted to go with asshole or idiot, so I got caught for a minute there. My brain froze. Because it's true. Who are you trying to impress? Who are you carrying that bag of bricks for, baby? You ain't doing it for me. You ain't doing it for yourself either. And you ain't doing it for them because they don't give a shit. If there is a company that has a really cringe diversity initiative, I'm in. Pay me. I'm tired of acting like I'm beyond it. I am tired of acting like I'm too good for cringy diversity content. I'm in now. They're making money. There are people making money off their identity all the time. My mistake is I haven't done it. So I'm in now. The rest of you can sit there and be respectable and work hard and go nowhere. We're going places now, Bobby. We are willing to take any and every sponsorship imaginable. Don't care who, don't even care what the politics are of it anymore. We're throwing it all out there. Are you a terrorist organization that needs someone to speak highly of you? This podcast is here. Just cut the check. Are you a cult that needs to get new members? Cut the check. Now, we do have limits. We should have mentioned that, but we do have limits. Like, we will not engage in any Nazism. That's not cool. That's whack. Don't hit us up with your bullshit, because we'll direct you right to the FBI and we'll take you down. I always wanted to be a Nazi hunter as a kid because Munich was really dope. This table's getting creaky. It's time to get rid of it. Makes me sad. It's been with us since the beginning. But cut the check, baby. That's what it's all about. Catch money. Did no one listen to Junior Mafia? Did no one listen to Junior Mafia? We played a song with the copyright would kill us. Fuck bitches, get money. Now, I don't think there's a need necessarily to say fuck bitches, because women are cool. But get money never goes out of style. I don't give a damn about any affirmative action shit. Cool. Put more affirmative action if it puts money in my pocket. Oh, wait, I get a cushy job, come on diversity hire? Let's go. Enough. Enough with the, I don't wanna, and I wanna feel like I earned it. Shut the fuck up. Take the check. Stop making it a point. Only make it a political point if it gets you good press. Oh, I'm like the only person of color filmmaker at this studio. Good. Pump that up. Be the only one. Be the token, man. I've been the token several places. I was a token at some organizations. The lone Puerto Rican, the lone person from Bushwick and gentrified businesses. And you know what I realized? A token is only as good as far as it takes you. I grew up in New York when we had tokens, and that token could take you anywhere from Brooklyn, from one stop to another, or from your stop all the way to the Bronx. So a token is only as good as how far it takes you. And I'll be a fucking long range token, baby. Put me right into the slot, I'm taking over the world. Cut the check. That's all I ask, is you cut the check. The people who talk about family values and respectability politics, they're not even respectable. They're doing the same bullshit everyone else is doing. Why shouldn't I? It's the grift, baby. Grift it up. Don't stop. Grifted. Don't stop. Grifted. That's what we're doing. This is a very musical episode, you'll find. I'm in kind of a musical mood. But fuck respectability. Cut the check, get the money. And speaking of respectability, not everyone cares about that. No. Not even our elected officials care about that. Lauren Boebert. Homegirl, Lauren Boebert. Friend of the is she a friend of the show? I don't think she even watches our show. If she does, what up? She was at Beetlejuice recently. I'm sure you heard the story. Hanging out with a cool bar owner. She's recently divorced, you know, feeling a little lonely. So she finds herself a nice barkeep. He's like, you want to go see Beetlejuice? She's like, yeah, I'll see Beetlejuice. And they go to Beetlejuice, which, a lovely show. I've seen it. It was actually quite good. I saw it here in New York, where theater matters. But she was seeing it in Denver. So I don't know if the production was as good. I don't want to insult the people who were performing Beetlejuice there, because Lauren did enough to insult them. But her and her boyfriend got frisky. They got a little frisky. If you watch the video, it's not a little, it's a lot frisky, really. He just, like, you know, goes for a big hand grab on the right titty, and he starts massaging it. It was kind of a bold move to make. I didn't see any indications that she was like, hey, grab my titty. When you want to go for a boob grab, it's a very sensitive issue. You want to make sure you have consent for that, which I think he figured he did, because the comfortability was just like, whoa, he's done that before. It was like a perfect form. You know a pitcher by his form, you know, his curveball, his forkball. You know what pitch is coming, and bam, he got a nice big grab of that right titty. And then, of course, you know, she didn't want to be outdone. She's back on the game now. She wants men to know she's ready. It's stop, drop, open up shop time for Miss Bobert. So she grabbed his junk. It looked like, allegedly. You don't really see the junk in the video, though I wouldn't have wanted to see the junk, but I respect it. She didn't care at that moment what her job was, you know? She just couldn't fight that feeling anymore. She grabbed him up to bring him across the shore, 'cause she's ready to throw away the yours forever. 'Cause she couldn't fight that feeling anymore. It's happened to all of us. You've been at a movie, you want to make out, it happens. You get passionate. Now, granted, she was surrounded by families, and she was vaping quite ridiculously. So she drew a lot of attention to herself. You don't want to draw attention to yourself when you're in the middle of some gropey, some touchy. You want to keep that quiet. But to be fair, she was at least discreet. You know, she gave a little hand to the lap, you know. It's a good tactic. Some women know it, some don't, you know. Some could be discreet. You know, if you're listening, I'm now demonstrating the proper technique. You know what I mean? You want to slide in there, right? At least that's how I would like it. You know, slide right down, you know. You want to be careful with it. You don't want to give away what you're doing. But he, on the other hand, was, let me grab that titty. And it's like, whoa, relax. It's as if he had never seen a nice set of titties before. And listen, objectively speaking, we're not crass on this show, but we will give credit where credit's due. The honkers were honking. Boop, boop. You know, they were out there. She definitely wanted them seen. I don't know if she wanted them groped. And what's even great about it is that he himself was a Democrat. She's a Republican. This potential sexy encounter could have been the thing that brought both parties together. Maybe this Democrat is showing this conservative how to live on the wild side, on the sex positive side. Maybe this, if we didn't shame Lauren Boebert for getting grabbed up at the Beetlejuice show, you know, if we didn't shame her for it, she could have been a great conduit, like reaching across the aisle and making sure that that Democrat knew how she felt about certain issues. and they could communicate and find a common sense solution so they could both be happy. Why are you looking at me like that, Bobby? I didn't do anything weird. No. I was just demonstrating what she could have done to have made political peace in our home. And maybe, listen, maybe this could have been a real romance. This is a real Lifetime movie situation, and it should play out. I think we shouldn't judge. I think we should, if anything, what America needs to do to truly get over this scandal is we need these two back together, because she dumped them, apparently. The scandal was too much. Or maybe it was the boob grab. Maybe she was just like, ugh, I don't mind it, but like, ugh, now people know your weak technique worked. And I don't want people thinking I go out with weak technique guys. But who knows? We should get them back together. Find a nice little restaurant. Hire Boys to Men. And listen, to be fair, I don't think he just grabs it willy-nilly. I think there was some, before they got there, some ooh, Clearly there was a familiarity. So there must have been some ooh, going on before they got there. And sometimes the guy just feels like, ooh, I know I feel like that sometimes. Probably not the image you people want at home, but sometimes you gotta feel, ooh, We all do. Is Lauren Boebert any different? Is her guy pal any different? No. We should be celebrating something like this. This is great to see. I love when white trash behaves like white trash. If anything, this should make her more electable, especially amongst women. Women will go, I know what that's like. It's been a long time since someone grabbed me up like that. For Democrats going, wow, she allowed her body to be felt up on by a dirty liberal. She's kinky. I like it. And you have to imagine, like, when you're really into politics, like whether you're far left or far right, there is some kind of like sexual perversion about banging someone from the other party. Like, if you look at conservative dudes, they have a raging hard-on for AOC. It's bizarre. I think Ben Shapiro deep down's got it bad for AOC. And that would be a great romance novel. Isn't that like what's that movie, Michael Douglas and the journalist? The American President? Maybe something like that. But that's what we need. We need another one of those. We need to bring it back. We need to make banging the other party sexy again. That's part of my 2024 platform. I'm still considering a run. No More Humans 2024 is still the top priority of policy. But if I must endure humans, part 2, make banging other parties sexy again. Political sex, let's bring that back. That should be a genre on all these porn sites. Political kink. What do you think about abortion? I think life begins at conception. Oh yeah? Well, I don't. But guess what? We're gonna pretend to conceive. Whoa, that's so dirty. But politically sexy. Like, people who are really into politics probably got turned on. A hot, conservative lady hanging by the bar, and a guy sitting there reading the New York Times. And she's like, you read the New York Times? That liberal rag? He's like, yeah. He's like, let me guess. You're more of a New York Post kind of gal? Ooh, the tension. Ooh. And then you start going at it, And she's like, oh, you believe in handouts? He's like, I believe in UBI. He's like, I'm quite socialist, but not just in my politics. Maybe some other personal things, if you know what I mean. I don't understand. What do you mean you're socialist? How about I show you my universal basic dirt plan? Whoa, that's gross. That's gross. I can't. Clearly, I'm not good at writing pornography, but I do think political kink can be good. It's time. We've done everything else. We've done the naughty schoolgirl. We've done like the priest who like gets seduced by, you know, someone from the choir. We've done all that stuff. We've done all the taboos. This is it. We gotta get political sexiness out there. This watch keeps vibrating. It's both good and bad. I hate smartwatches, but I love them. Maybe that could be another kink. And, you know, oh, my watch feels so good, but it doesn't feel good for me. It's more annoying, frustrating when I'm trying to make a point about political sexiness. Bill Maher, you know, imagine him. He says him and Ann Coulter never hooked up, but I find it hard to believe. Those two are made for each other in a horrifying kind of way. And their child would be something truly demonic. But it's definitely happened. Wait, didn't that other guy? Oh my God, the guy from Crossfire, he married a conservative. He was a Democratic pundit. Crossfire, not game series. Even though I always wanted Crossfire as a kid. I think it's James Carville, but let's not hold me to it. Come on, come on. Where is the good stuff? James Carville, yeah, he married a Republican. And he's like as liberal as they come. Maybe he was in the know. He was like, these conservative chicks kind of sexy, you know? The way they challenge my belief systems. The way they make me think about, you know, you're pro-abortion, I get it, but like killing a baby. No one's ever said that to me before. No one's ever made me feel like a sinner before. You know, like maybe that's the key. Maybe that's what we need. More screw interracial marriages. Those are cool, but interpolitical marriages, maybe that's where it's at. Maybe that's what we do. Could be sexy. Could be sexy. There's already, I already feel like sexual tension amongst hyper-political people when they argue. Patrice O'Neal had this belief that hate and love are just neighbors to each other. You can turn hate into love very easily. And here's the thing. If you ever really argued with somebody and you eventually found them attractive, which I think it happens to some people. It's happened to me. There was somebody I was attracted to that, well, I wasn't at first. I hated their existence. And we would argue all the time about just about everything because we were in the same friend group. And eventually, things happen because there's a level of passion there because you realize you're putting a passion into something. So clearly you're like, why am I putting a passion here? Why is this absorbing me so much? And why is it in this person? Then it happens. That's the key. That's how we're going to save America. Politisex, bro. Politisex. And it's not just something that's happening on the right either, my friends. It's happening on the left. Well, this guy didn't get groped, but he got caught out there. According to the New York Post, those fucking guys. Left wings, well, let's start off. This is a New York story, and I know people get, oh, another New York story. This is a good one, okay? A New York state senator did this. Not the state senator, but one of these smaller senators. This is the problem I have with local government. Senators, representatives, like, can we come up with new names, new titles? Left-wing state senator Gustavo Rivera follows dozens of salacious accounts on TikTok, including at least 36 who also maintain OnlyFans accounts. They include brunette influencer Jessie Switch. We'll make sure to put pictures up, you know, in their TikTok accounts so you guys can check them out for research purposes and so you can know the story. Jessie Switch, who recently posted a video demonstrating various ways to make a distinctive sound with her moneymaker. Whoa. Have you ever wanted to learn how to make it clap? Apparently. The other TikTokers tailed by the Bronx law. Wow, it's from the Bronx? Oh, no. Not the Bronx. He also follows Heidi LaVaughn, who is an OnlyFans as viral cosplay. Oh, she's terrible reading today, but she's a viral cosplayer. The lawmaker followed at least 2 little people to have porn accounts. Whoa, he's following little people too, including one where British creator PETA warns TikTok followers that her thighs are skull crushers. He also follows Jenny Locke. He had no comment on any of these things, and he just so happens to be the lawmaker who supports prostitution and legalizing it. But hey, at least he's living his gimmick. Lauren was busy telling people about family values while, secretly wanting to have her boobies grabbed. But at least this guy is following TikTok OnlyFans people, and he's like, I'm horny. I'm into it. I'm into some hot chicks, and here's their accounts for the viewing audience on YouTube. Not so you can go gawk at them for research purposes. Because it's different to hear the story, but to have a visual component that helps is good too. It's good too. But hey, if our politicians are going to be this frisky, let's support it. I want him to start a series of interviews with these OnlyFans girls he follows in support of prostitution or sex work. This is content he's sitting on. Start doing those for your political campaigns. I'm Heidi Levon. I didn't know who Gustavo was at first when he followed me, but now I do, and I support him because he supports me through OnlyFans. And you can support him this November. Bam! I should be a political strategist. Now, I would wear a jean vest to work every day because I'm a badass with cool buttons. But I would be cool, People would go, that's a badass guy. He's like, yeah, he's our top communications guy. Like, he knows what the people want, all right? And yes, he wears sunglasses even inside because he knows what the people want. Mystery. Who's this genius that came from nowhere? Get ready to find out. But that's how I would work this whole thing for Gustavs. He does not have to be ashamed of his OnlyFans lusting. Dudes are doing it. I don't. Because I don't need that. But it's not even a joke. I really don't. I'm not really a porn guy. It doesn't really do anything for me. Maybe that's not healthy. I don't know. Should probably talk to a therapist about that. But I support this guy. Him and Lauren are just 2 sides of the same coin. They're people in politics. After a while, power no longer can get you off. You gotta add power with something else. Power with drugs. Power with sex. Power with murder. Now, thankfully, neither of them have murdered anyone. As far as we know. That's good. But what would you rather? Them out murdering? Or them out, jacking it? I'd be more preferable to the jacking. I don't want to see it. And come on, dude, rookie mistake here. Like, you're following them on your generic account, your public account. Why didn't you make a burner, dude? Like, come on. If you're gonna be creep, yeah, you might wanna have a burner account. Not that I've ever had one. I'm quite open with what I do. See? I just lost all credibility there. I'll take it. But have a burner. We need you in there to get these sex workers' rights. And these women, whose accounts I'm now showing again on the screen, for research purposes of our viewers, they need him as well. And if you happen to follow them in support, go on. Support them because they are victims as well of being shamed for being followed by this cool guy who's really in to hot TikTokers. Is he not allowed to be a little horny on TikTok? It's a little weird to be horny on TikTok. It's kind of a much more younger person's platform. So there's that. Not saying he's a pedo or anything because these women are clearly of age, but just, you might want to go mine You're pouring somewhere else. Instagram Reels is, I don't know if anyone's been checking their Reels recently. It's a horror show. It's pretty wild out there. Luckily, my algorithm's been fixed to all, conspiracy stuff. So all I get's that, which that's not good either. I'm going to have to start throwing in videos of puppies and cats just to negate whatever that algorithm's becoming. But hey, he's a man who just likes what he likes. And I would prefer my politicians chill, relaxed, and coming. Because when they don't come, they're a little stressed out and they make some bad choices. That's scientific fact. Scientific fact. But that's what it comes down to, just being able to be yourself. He, sadly, because he's Latino, is going to get extra bullshit because he's Latino. And because he's Latino, he has to try extra hard to be family values and be seen as an ethically good person, even though what he did is not wrong. All he did was follow some hot chicks on TikTok and turn into a story that we're talking about on this show. Are we part of the problem? Maybe. But I'm here to defend him, so he should be happy I'm even talking about it. He should be thanking one Rafael Martinez for coming out to take some bullets. Not like I'm a Christ-like figure or anything. Not that I'm saying I'm like that. Not a Christ-like figure. Not a Christ-like figure for pervs. That's not my job. I just make jokes about things from time to time that involve some perviness. And sure, maybe I thought Lauren Boebert's date had every right, to go for a nice boob grab, but she was clearly into it. He did it twice. Twice grab. And he did a curve into the cleavage too. He really wanted all that boobie. It was passionate. It was nice to see her happy after such a sad divorce. This is the Lifetime movie I want. Should get making on this. Who's going to produce it? I'll produce it. Hell, I'll even write it. I'm ready to go. Hire me. Hire me. And as I wait for that phone call from Hollywood and for someone to cut the check, I think we both know how this one is going to end.